We are more than 25% of the way through this legislative session, and we've not taken any action to address the PEIA problem. I'm disappointed we didn't get the chance to do that today by way of the amendment, which I guess the fact that we laid it over reflects that it may not be quite as urgent to pass that bill as it was described to me over the last 24 hours. Now, as many of you know, it's the top priority of the Democratic minority to fully fund and restore PEIA. And while that's our top priority, we don't hold an exclusive patent on that issue. We invite and encourage that to be a bipartisan effort. But I think whatever we do, the first dollar of spending that we do as a body should be to begin taking the steps to fully fund the PEIA reductions. Now, there was an amendment that was put into the system that was later withdrawn that identified certain accounts from which we can begin that process. And one of those accounts is from a Senate fund that holds nearly $29 million or so. And I think there was a proposal to take half that. And there's a House account that has millions of dollars, and there was a proposal to take a portion of that. And to the extent the press needs a copy of that amendment and identification of those accounts, I have copies for you. But I'm hoping that over the weekend, that members of the Finance Committee, both Republicans and Democrats, can work to solve the problems we have, both with regard to PEIA as well as bills that need paid by the state of West Virginia. I just read this morning of a report that purports to identify $300 million in waste, fraud, and savings that could occur here in our state. And while it's easy for me to ask the finance chairman, who does a fantastic job, to work over the weekend, these are critical issues that I think demand attention. And if there is indeed $300 million of savings in waste and fraud that can be identified in our state budget, then let's take some of that money and redirect it not just into PEIA, but to pay the state's obligations as well. But our first obligation needs to be to the school teachers we have in our state that are effectively taking pay cuts when they have PEIA benefits modified that cause them to pay more out of their pockets. And that also doesn't just include the school teachers, but also our state troopers and other public employees who haven't gotten raises, and we surely don't want to give them pay cuts. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you for that opportunity. I hope over the weekend and on Monday we can all come together in a bipartisan manner to address the PEIA problem and project the message to all of our state where our priorities are. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.